know that Onika Tanya Mirage would never, has never, and will never speak ill of anyone's child. I am not a clown. That's clown shit.
4 years, Beyonce kept her distance, silent, unbothered, untouchable. But now, it looks like that silence has finally broken. After Nicki Minaj's shocking rants targeting both Jay-Z and even Beyonce's children, insiders say Queen Bey has quietly begun moving pieces behind the scenes, and those moves could end Nicki's career for good. Fans are calling it karma, others call it power, but one thing's for sure, when Beyonce strikes, she doesn't miss. And this time, Nicki may have pushed her too far. Beyonce's silence seems to have finally reached its limit. After months of enduring Nicki's unprovoked jabs toward both her and Jay-Z, it appears the Queen herself has decided to make her move, and she is allegedly using her influence to quietly shut doors on Nicki's career for good. Reports suggest that the album Nicki announced for next year may end up being the weakest release of her career if these behind-the-scenes efforts continue. But what really shocked fans was Nicki's decision to allegedly bring Beyonce's children into her rants. No one knows what might have caused Nicki's recent online behavior, but she has been acting wildly out of character, jumping from insulting Cardi's kids to now targeting Beyonce's. This, coming from someone who once promised never to mention anyone's children, has left even her loyal fans speechless.
Papa. Go get him.
By her own admission, she has become a spectacle, and her actions lately only reinforce that image. Taking aim at Beyonce's children and making cruel claims about them being autistic has pushed things to an unforgivable low. What makes it even more disturbing is that she allegedly mocked their condition while her own son has reportedly faced developmental challenges and spends much of his time tapping objects around the house. The hypocrisy and insensitivity of it all have left many people appalled.
I've seen you post disrespecting me, Idiot Wilson. All of y'all, for some reason, when y'all are around certain people, y'all feel that y'all have this power. Why? When y'all have an affiliation to Jay-Z in some sort of way, y'all be thinking that y'all can disrespect and violate.
Nicki has spent years taking shots at Beyonce and Jay-Z, seemingly convinced that they are the root of every setback in her life. Her attacks on Jay intensified last year during her feud with Megan Thee Stallion, as she began tying unrelated drama into her grievances with the Carters. In one of her recent songs, she even hints at people being mysteriously fired by Desiree, claiming many were blindsided and hurt by her alleged actions. Nicki insists that Desiree is so obsessed with replacing her that she is willing to risk everything financially. Things escalated further when Nicki clashed with respected hip-hop journalist Elliott Wilson, accusing him of being bribed by Jay-Z after he criticized her for joining a live stream with Kai Cenat to promote her album. In a heated moment, she lashed out, saying Elliott could support rising talent if he stopped idolizing Jay-Z. She also accused the media of hypocrisy, pointing out how they once painted her as the one blocking new female rappers, despite her collaborating with many of them. Her words carried a mix of bitterness, frustration, and defiance, a reflection of an artist who feels both misunderstood and under siege. Nicki also made a shocking claim that Jay-Z was behind her arrest, alleging that he orchestrated the incident to derail her Pink Friday 2 European tour. Fans will recall that the rapper was detained last year in Amsterdam after authorities received a tip suggesting she was transporting illegal substances from the United States. During the encounter, which Nicki partially recorded, she questioned the officers about their actions. One officer informed her that they needed to unload and thoroughly search her luggage, apologizing as he explained the procedure. Nicki, sounding both frustrated and suspicious, asked why they had not searched her bags before the flight if that was their original plan. The officer responded that they had only done a quick random check earlier but now needed to inspect everything because she had filmed them, and one officer reportedly believed she might be hiding more than she admitted. Nicki insisted that she had already answered his questions and pointed out that her bags had been taken and placed on the plane before she could verify which ones were hers. The entire exchange painted a picture of confusion, tension, and mistrust, with Nicki clearly feeling targeted and wronged in the process. Nicki claimed that the entire incident surrounding her arrest and the scrutiny of her luggage was not a random event but part of a larger, deliberate plan aimed at undermining her tour and tarnishing her reputation. She alleged that officials took control of her bags before she even had a chance to inspect them properly, which she interpreted as a calculated move designed to put her at a disadvantage and create unnecessary complications. According to her, the situation was orchestrated by powerful people who allegedly paid significant sums of money to ensure that her success would be sabotaged. In Nicki's perspective, these individuals were angry not only because her tour was performing exceptionally well but also because they stood to gain nothing from it financially, heightening their motivation to interfere. She went on to suggest that some former associates, who she claimed had been fired for misconduct, retaliated against her by planting illegal substances in her luggage, further complicating her travel and potentially jeopardizing her career. This, she argued, was part of a wider pattern of sabotage aimed at destabilizing her public image and putting her under legal and media pressure. Popular YouTuber Storm Monroe, who is known for drawing on insider information from Hollywood, amplified these claims by reporting that he had heard Jay-Z and Roc Nation were allegedly behind the scheme. Monroe suggested that there was even a mole within Nicki's own team who had been secretly feeding information to Roc Nation, which purportedly allowed Dutch authorities to know about the marijuana in her luggage before she even arrived in Amsterdam. Monroe also claimed that Jay-Z and Roc Nation had been targeting Nicki for some time, citing long-standing tensions in the industry that were exacerbated following the release of her song Bigfoot Goodfoot. According to this narrative, Nicki's outspoken nature and high-profile conflicts had made her a target for those seeking to maintain control and limit her influence in the music industry. While the veracity of these claims remains uncertain, the allegations have certainly intensified the ongoing feud between Nicki and the influential figures she accuses of attempting to silence her. The controversy surrounding the incident has drawn significant attention, with fans and observers debating the motives and credibility of the claims. Many point out that regardless of the factual accuracy, the narrative itself highlights the intense pressures and political maneuvering that high-profile artists often face behind the scenes. For Nicki, the situation has not only fueled her feelings of being unfairly targeted but has also reinforced her image as a resilient artist who navigates both the creative and political challenges of the music industry. Whether or not the allegations hold true, the story underscores the complexities of fame, power, and rivalry in an environment where success can provoke jealousy, strategic sabotage, and public scrutiny. Ultimately, the episode has deepened the tension between Nicki and the powerful network she believes is working against her, further entrenching the narrative of conflict and resistance that has characterized much of her career. According to the claims circulating online, Jay-Z allegedly orchestrated the plan to have Nicki arrested, but chose to do so while she was overseas, where legal maneuvering would be easier and more discreet. Sources suggested that Roc Nation wanted the timing to ensure her husband, who often serves as her personal protection, was not present. The alleged objective, they say, was to weaken her support system and publicly damage her career. The narrative being pushed is that Roc Nation has been working behind the scenes to bankrupt Nicki by spreading stories about her being broke or constantly touring just to stay afloat. Many believe the arrest and rumors were part of a deliberate effort to tarnish her image and shake her confidence. Some insiders have even warned that there might be a mole within Nicki's team, someone secretly feeding information to Roc Nation. Those close to her have urged that she clean house and replace her entire team, especially her security. The theory concludes that Roc Nation's focus on Megan Thee Stallion, one of Nicki's biggest rivals, only deepens suspicions, since Megan is seen as Nicki's most direct competition in the female rap scene. Nicki has long maintained that there is essentially no true competition for her in the female rap scene, often dismissing other artists, including Cardi B and a handful of emerging rappers, as mere distractions rather than genuine rivals. In her view, these figures do not pose a real threat to her status, and any attempts to paint them as equal competitors are, in her eyes, misguided or fabricated by the media. She has consistently framed her position in the industry as that of a trailblazer and dominant force, someone whose influence and legacy far outweigh the temporary attention other artists might receive. This belief in her supremacy has also fueled her claims that she has been deliberately set up or undermined at various points in her career, suggesting that some of the obstacles she faces are not natural competition but orchestrated attempts to destabilize her success and public image. Nicki has frequently tied these claims back to Roc Nation, alleging that the label and its affiliates have engaged in behind-the-scenes maneuvers that negatively affected her career trajectory. She has repeatedly highlighted situations like the early dealings with Tory Lanez, explaining that he was initially slated to sign with Roc Nation, which would have made him a key part of their strategic plans for rising stars in the industry. According to Nicki, this plan shifted when Megan Thee Stallion emerged as Roc Nation's primary focus, leaving Tory Lanez out of the picture and, in Nicki's perspective, signaling the label's manipulative control over which artists are promoted and prioritized. By pointing out these strategic moves, Nicki seeks to frame her narrative as one where her career has been influenced not just by her own talent or market dynamics, but also by calculated industry decisions designed to limit her opportunities or distract attention away from her achievements. Nicki has even gone as far as referencing Tory Lanez's father, who publicly accused Roc Nation of engaging in shady practices, alleging favoritism and manipulative tactics in the way artists were signed and promoted. At the time, many observers dismissed these claims as overblown or crazy. Yet Nicki often invokes them as evidence that the music industry operates in ways that can undermine artists through selective promotion, strategic manipulation, and behind-the-scenes maneuvering. By connecting these dots, she portrays herself as someone who has had to navigate a landscape filled with political and business machinations, not just artistic challenges. This perspective feeds into her broader narrative of being misunderstood or unfairly targeted in the industry, suggesting that the obstacles she has faced are part of larger, systemic attempts to control narratives, elevate certain artists over others, and ultimately shape public perception in ways that do not always reflect talent or merit alone. Throughout these explanations, Nicki emphasizes her resilience and the fact that despite such alleged manipulations, she has maintained her position as a leading figure in female rap. Her narrative underscores the idea that she is not just surviving in the industry but thriving, even in the face of perceived sabotage, highlighting her strategic awareness and long-term thinking. By framing her career in this context, Nicki encourages her fans and the public to see her not merely as a rapper, but as a savvy player in an industry where business decisions, personal rivalries, and corporate strategies often intersect with artistry. The combination of her talent, strategic awareness, and ability to navigate these challenges contributes to her self-proclaimed dominance, reinforcing her belief that there is no true competition capable of matching her impact in the female rap landscape. Overall, Nicki's arguments about her unrivaled status, the distractions posed by other artists, and the alleged manipulations by Roc Nation create a narrative of an artist constantly under siege yet remaining unshaken. She positions herself as someone whose career is defined not just by music but by the ability to outmaneuver the complex web of industry politics, ultimately framing herself as a pioneering and resilient force whose legacy remains untouchable, regardless of the temporary threats or criticisms posed by competitors or corporate strategies. After that moment, Nicki turned her fire back on Jay-Z, accusing him of scamming her out of millions. According to her, in 2015 Jay brought her, Rihanna, Alicia Keys, and other high-profile artists into a deal with Tidal only to later sell the streaming service for $300 million behind their backs. Because Nicki allegedly owned a 3% stake, she claimed she was entitled to about $8.9 million but received nothing. When her lawyers tried to secure the money, Jay allegedly offered just $1 million, on the condition that she sign an NDA before receiving it. Nicki refused, publicly accusing him of cheating her. Neither Jay-Z nor Beyonce responded to the accusations, but Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, and her sister Solange appeared to shade Nicki on social media. Miss Tina posted a photo of herself with Beyonce captioned, "Good morning. It feels good to wake up knowing my faves didn't lose their minds like some people. Y'all have a great day. Remember to ignore the ignorance." The Barbs, Nicki's fans, swarmed Tina's comments so fiercely that the post quickly became a trending topic, intensifying the feud even further. Nicki clarified that she had reposted a caption because it reflected her relationship with Beyonce and had nothing to do with anyone else, urging people to stop dragging her into matters that did not involve her and calling out the messiness of the situation. Meanwhile, Solange shared unsettling photos of idols she admires, which many interpreted as a warning to Nicki to back off. The drama intensified when the topic of RY surfaced, a man who has long claimed that Jay-Z impregnated his mother as a teenager and refused to take responsibility. Nicki reposted a 50-cent Instagram post about RY's paternity lawsuit, noting that a judge had allowed the case to proceed and ordered Jay-Z to respond by July 18th, which may explain why Jay-Z had been trending recently. The controversy escalated further when Beyonce allegedly began pulling strings to blacklist Nicki, not just because of the constant attacks on Jay-Z, but mainly because Nicki had crossed a line during her feud with Cardi B by attacking Beyonce and Jay-Z's children. This move was widely seen as unprovoked and unacceptable, as the children had no involvement in any disputes. The tension reached another peak when Cardi tweeted about threats toward her child, prompting Nicki to respond with a taunt that intensified the ongoing conflict. Nicki appeared completely unfazed by the constant barrage of bot-generated tweets and comments flooding her social media accounts, a fact that many critics argue is part of the reason they now claim she is broken or unraveling under the pressure. Despite the relentless online attacks, she continued to engage, seemingly unaffected by the artificial amplification of negative opinions designed to provoke her. Sources close to the situation noted that Desiree, one of the people caught up in the online drama, allegedly got cosmetic fillers after being called ugly, a move that supposedly made her appearance even more unnatural or exaggerated. Meanwhile, Nicki did not hold back in her attacks and even escalated the situation by turning her focus toward other people's children, a line that many felt she should never have crossed. The intensity of her comments, particularly regarding children, has left observers questioning her judgment and the boundaries she is willing to cross in the name of defending herself or settling scores. If Beyonce had ever needed a clear and undeniable reason to teach Nicki a lesson, many commentators suggest that this particular behavior provided the perfect excuse. Nicki's willingness to speak on the children of Beyonce and Jay-Z, who have largely remained shielded from public scrutiny, was seen by fans and critics alike as an unprovoked and audacious move, one that could easily provoke a powerful response. Cardi B reportedly added fuel to the discussion by mentioning that Nicki's own son is allegedly not the sharpest, making her comfort in discussing the children of others even more shocking and, in the eyes of some, entirely inappropriate. This revelation amplified concerns about Nicki's choices, leading many to speculate that her judgment may have been clouded by a combination of ego, frustration, and the ongoing pressure of being constantly in the public eye. Observers have been quick to warn that Beyonce is not someone to take lightly, suggesting that she might strike back either financially, legally, or strategically, given the audacity of Nicki's comments. The message from many corners of social media is clear. Nicki should keep her disputes strictly with Jay-Z and refrain from involving Beyonce or their children, who have no direct role in any of the existing conflicts. The situation has sparked heated debate among fans, with some emphasizing that Beyonce is the real queen in this context, deserving respect and caution, while others argue that Nicki's reactions are understandable given her history in the industry and the ongoing pressure she faces as a high-profile artist constantly scrutinized by both peers and the public. The controversy has not only stirred fans online but also invited commentary from cultural analysts and music insiders, who have dissected the feud from every angle. Many have pointed out that the stakes in these celebrity conflicts extend far beyond personal disagreements. They often involve reputation, financial interests, and power dynamics that can shape careers and public perception for years to come. As a result, the drama surrounding Nicki's comments on Beyonce and Jay-Z's children has become a focal point in a broader discussion about the responsibilities of public figures, the ethics of online discourse, and the limits of freedom of speech when it intersects with private lives. Ultimately, the situation has left viewers questioning whether Nicki deserves the backlash she is likely to face or whether the response from Beyonce and her camp would be excessive. Fans have been encouraged to share their thoughts in the comments section, engage in discussions about accountability, and follow related videos to keep up with the unfolding developments. This ongoing saga highlights not only the intensity of celebrity feuds in the modern social media era but also the ways in which actions, words, and online behavior can escalate into a full-blown cultural event, capturing public attention and shaping narratives across platforms. The stakes are high, the emotions are raw, and the world is watching closely to see what consequences, if any, Nicki will face as a result of her comments and actions in this high-profile conflict.